want to ask you this too, because, okay, we talked to Cal in the post game. Somebody asked him, I don't remember who it was, but somebody asked, what happened on that play? You're down 3, and basically you get a shot clock violation, but you get Chris Livingston throwing up a step back, fall away 3-pointer that didn't have a chance of going in. And he said, oh, well, the person who was supposed to do this didn't do it.
The guy that was supposed to catch it and dribble to the top didn't.
I'm like, it's February 11th. At what point do we take responsibility for our players not knowing where to go? And
there's some execution problems. Like, we looked and we knew they were going to go with Oscar, so you got it, and we threw it to who we wanted to, and then he passed it. And then we were like, well, what? And then all of a sudden, what? I mean.
But then don't blame them, but don't blame the players. I don't want to blame the guys. Don't blame the players, but they don't know what they're doing. Don't blame them, but they don't know. You see what I'm saying? That stuff is like, dude, it is February 11th. If you're still screaming at your players because they don't know where to go, that's on you. Is it not? Am I wrong? I mean, at what point do we just continue to go, he didn't know where to go? Well, that's a good enough excuse. How about recruit guys who can learn stuff or teach these guys better? How are you failing at this? You've done that. Calipari and this staff has been around college basketball, or just basketball in general, for how long? How can you fail these kids?
40 years.
How can you're failing them if they don't know where to go on February 11th? How complicated are these plays? How complicated is the whole system? So I mean, and I don't think it is. But I don't know. I don't know because we get 4 minutes and 36 seconds.
That sequence, I think, was the story of this team's season. I think when you are coming out of a timeout, you get a second chance. It's an offensive rebound opportunity. Goes out of bounds. It's a TV timeout. You get the chance to hit reset and say, all right, you're down by 3 points against a team that you should be beating. Let's put together a play. Let's execute the way we need to execute, and let's get the hell out of here with a win. Let's just do what we got to do. And they run the shot clock down, get a step back 3 from the top of the key from Chris Livingston, who has been shooting well as of late. But is that the guy that you want to tie the game with 3 minutes left?
I'm sure even if they did, they didn't want that kind of shot.
End of shot clock situation, fadeaway air ball from the top of the key. Of course not.
No.
It's a miscommunication. The play wasn't executed the way it was needed to be executed. And then Georgia goes down. It ends up being a shot clock violation. Georgia goes on the other end of the floor, gets a corner 3-pointer, wide open, knock it down, go up 6 with 3 minutes left, and that's ball game. I mean,
when this team gets down 6 in the second half,
you should be able to come back down 6 in 3 minutes, but the momentum at that point had shifted completely out of Kentucky's hands, and it got to that point where it just is what it is at that point. And that game, that sequence right there was what this season. If you could just kind of put an individual sequence in a big picture scenario of what this season is and how we got to this point, I would go back to that sequence and say the teams going against when the big opportunities have come for Kentucky, they haven't been able to live up on their end of the bargain, while the opposition has always come up in the clutch. They've always hit the big shots. They've always executed down the stretch, and Kentucky just hasn't. And we are 6 games away from postseason play, and we're still having issues figuring that stuff out. And that doesn't give me, warm, fuzzy feelings that things are going to get figured out. It's a very sobering reality that we could be yet another year extending the streak of 0 NCAA tournament wins since 2019.
Gosh, I was going to say, give Calipari a little bit of credit. I will when they switched to a 1-3-1. Calipari called a play. Chris Livingston takes a baseline and dunks. So I just want to, we see it sometimes, but the play you're talking about. It was the season. Not just metaphorically, but hey, you needed to win this game. This was
one side executes, the other side doesn't. That's how you get to 9 losses with 6 to go.